Hello, this is Robert Cappuccio. I'd like to thank you for joining me for another PT on the Net video interview. My guest today is Marcel Daane, world-renowned speaker, educator, and author. And today we're going to talk about some of the behavioral characteristics that keep our clients from really manifesting the results that they desire. You know, Marcel, first of all, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And I'm sure as you travel around the world, some of the things that does our trainers' heads in, I know it does mine, and I'd like to hear your opinion about it, is people say they want one thing, but they do the exact things that will keep them from having the things that they say that they desire the most. They go to the doctor, and the doctor says, right, you've got high cholesterol, and they continue to eat the way they've always eaten. You know, they're in poor health, and they might have a parent who died of lung cancer, yet they smoke.
Yeah, exactly.
And they know it's going to kill them, but they persist in doing the things that they know they should not be doing. And a lot of times, they say they don't want to be doing. How does that show up in our arena, in the fitness world, and why do people do that?
Yeah, well, I think even most importantly, actually, you know, for me too, as an educator, but also as a practitioner, when dealing with clients, you know, we have to find the right tools to be able to stimulate clients and to help them change their behavior in a certain way. And the most important thing with that is actually having understanding where their behavior comes from. That's key. Right. Now, when we look in terms of, for example, these type of rewards are the dopaminergic pathways. This is where, you know, they're always after that spike of dopamine that makes them feel good and makes them feel happy. Now, for example, like, you know, certain types of foods, whether it's chocolate cake or cheesecake, makes them feel good. That's why they do it. The problem with that is these are nuclear rewards, and these nuclear rewards create such high levels of dopamine that normal natural rewards, like for example working out or you know, eating a normal healthy meal, creates much lower amounts of dopamine, and therefore people desensitize to that. So they're biologically they're changing in their brains. That biology is always changing based on these nuclear rewards that they're consuming, right? So that really drives their behavior to seek more of these nuclear rewards rather than actually just being happy and content with the natural rewards that we have access to us. So as trainers, what we need to understand is that when clients do these kind of things, they're not necessarily doing this to spite you or anything like that, but it really is, yeah, exactly, it really is their inability or maybe their own lack of understanding of the biology that's actually going on inside the brain. So the first thing that I do with my clients is I try to educate them on the biology that happens inside their own brains when they're actually looking for this. Because what I find is people, they will pursue this, like let's say in this case food, they'll pursue food, but then afterwards they will judge themselves tremendously and feel bad because of eating that food. And on top of that, we end up judging them because we're going, oh, why is this person not doing what I'm telling them to do? So we need to help them understand that it's okay. You know, it's biology that is causing the person to eat the way they are really doing. And all we need to do is help them change their own biology. And when we can do that, we can help them do that through strategies like behavioral modification strategies, like, for example, you know, making sure that you're well nourished, you know, that you don't go into cravings and all of that kind of stuff. You know, make sure that you can find pleasures in other more constructive type of behavior. Like, for example, if you're craving chocolate cake, you might get the same amount of dopamine from chocolate cake as you might from a workout. Is to learn to actually understand that working out can also give you a dopamine rush. It might even be greater than that piece of chocolate cake. And if that person discovers that client discovers that, they might actually start using exercise as a really valuable tool to help them change their own behaviors. And when they start learning that kind of stuff, then also their motivations become intrinsic. And then they're, of course, you know, I mean, that's a much more powerful tool, and of course very empowering for the client as well.
And that's one of the trends that we're seeing is more and more information, not just about behavior modification, but about engagement, about the entertainment factor related to exercise.
Absolutely.
Because it's a hard sell, isn't it? You have chocolate cake that will not judge you, will not criticize you, will not abandon you, is always there for you. You can depend on that chocolate cake. If you've got just a couple of euros, a couple of pounds, a couple of dollars, it's there for you. Yeah. And it's readily available. Abundance of it, or you can have this strenuous workout, and what people associate to the cake and what people associate to the workout, which in addition to all the things we mentioned, brings in the possibility for failure.
That's right.
Which allows them to further judge themselves, further perpetuate that shame cycle.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, if it was something they wanted to do rather than something they had to do.
Yeah, exactly. And I think for us the most important thing as trainers is that we need to educate our clients on the fact that because it is just biology, we can use these very constructive tools like a workout. It's the same way that can help a person as, you know, what they would normally perceive as chocolate cake being their friend. That workout has to become their friend. And how do we do that? We do that by keeping those workouts fun. Right? So the more fun there is in the workout, and of course variety as well, right? Because the problem with dopamine is that when you have an expectation of something fun, it creates a spike of dopamine. But if it's not as much fun as you expected it to be, it actually lowers dopamine levels, and you're actually not feeling as good or as happy about the expectation of the workout. So if you have a workout and you do it once, and you do that exact same workout the second time, dopamine levels are already becoming a little bit lower. So the key is for the trainer is to how do I keep my client engaged? How do I keep those dopamine levels high through workouts? And we do that through the entertainment factor. We make sure that they're laughing a lot, make sure that they are in a place where they are really enjoying what they're doing, and of course movement-based training. Spatial awareness is a great source of dopamine. Make sure they're moving around a lot in that 3D training. We hear so much about that nowadays in terms of training in 3D in all directions and dimensions, and that too affects dopamine levels in a really positive way.
Well, so I think what I hear you saying, what we hear you saying, Marcel, is the neuroscience is now supporting that multisensory, multiplanar functional training can actually lead to exercise adherence because it creates a state of novelty which elevates dopamine and activates on the reward centers of the brain. Fantastic. Brilliant. Thank you very much.
You're most welcome.